And welcome back to ETV. It is Pet Week here at ETV, and normally we would be doing a segment with Idaho Athletic Club, but instead we're having our trainer's trainer joining us in lieu of Pet Week here to find out a little bit more about getting your pet trained, because if you're like me, boy, my dogs just don't like to listen about anything. So joining me from A Better Pet is Jim. Jim, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We'd also like to introduce Mac over here.
This is Mac. This is actually the dog that's owned by John Wardle, who's the owner of Idaho Athletic Club.
Perfect.
So he's here sitting in for the Idaho Athletic Club.
Well,
people.
if you can train dogs as well as they train me, then, you know, I think it should be a good thing.
We can.
Now, let me ask you first off, okay? I'm the frustrated pet owner here. I've got the dogs that just don't like to listen, and it drives me nuts. So what is the best reason for hiring someone like you to help me out here?
If you have a dog that's refusing your commands, ignoring your commands, jumping on guests when they come over, stealing food off the table, running off of socks and laundry, then you probably need to get some basic obedience down so the dog is not getting himself in trouble. Because those exercises of inconsistency can also lead to other things like not coming when you're out front, which if the dog doesn't come and runs into the road, that could equal disaster.
Yeah, that could. Now, as far as trainers go, what would separate you versus like all these other trainers? Like, why should I call? You know?
When you're researching trainers, you always want to ask their education, because there's a lot of self-taught dog trainers out there. There's trainers that go to a 3-week how to be a dog trainer school. Ooh. When you do your research, you'll find that there are trainers and there are behaviorists. And in my education, I actually studied animal behavior at Southern Oregon State University in Ashland, Oregon for 4.5 years. So my education is radically different. It comes from the application of applied science of animal behavior, not the old school choke chain, yank and crank type training.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of time teaching the owners. 95% of the training program is training the owners to make sure they understand what to do when the trainer's not there.
Glad to know that there's definitely hope for my dogs. If you want to contact Jim, it's abetterpetboise.com. Jim, thanks for joining us. We'll be right back. The Pet Week continues right here on ETV.